Good morning, Kumar, and thanks
Very good
for
morning.
joining for this interview. And
It's my pleasure.
yeah, this is myself. I am Ram Ramkrishnan, the Managing Director of GenSource India Private Limited, and a business direction designer and a coach. Our organization, GenSource India Private Limited, provides services in the areas of process excellence, people development, technology implementation, innovation modeling, knowledge management, business finance, and real estate and administration areas. We have professional with over 350 plus years of corporate experience, and for more details, people can connect with us on info@gensource.in. And I have now Mr. Kumara with me. He is an MR, ICS, MCR, SLCR, Director Real Estate and Facilities, Citrix R&D India. He is responsible for corporate real estate, facilities, space management, transport management, food services, sustainability, and infrastructure projects for all Citrix offices in India. Prior to that, Kumara worked in SAP for 11 years and Wipro for 8 years, handling similar and more of areas in that organization. He has more than 24 years of corporate experience in the areas of facilities, real estate, project management. Kumara comes with electrical engineering background, CMFM certification from Michigan University, USA, and Master of Corporate Real Estate from Coronet Global, USA. He completed Diploma in Senior Leader in Corporate Real Estate from Coronet, USA. He is a real example of lifelong learning, and all younger generation need to take him as a role model and move forward. Kumara won 4 times National Award for highly energy efficient building competition representing SAP and Citrix. Kumara won the India CRE Executive Leader of the Year Award 2017 from Coronet Global, which is very noteworthy. And he was the finalist of Global CRE Executive Leader of the Year Award. Congratulations, Kumara. And it was nice having you on my interview and today talk about the sustainability, which is close to your heart, which is close to my heart as well. And thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this nice introduction. And it's always my pleasure to be part of your interview series. And during this journey, I'm sure there will be a learning opportunity, and I'm glad to share whatever little bit I know about sustainability.
Yeah, I think sustainability is something which every corporate would like to follow and do that. In sustainability, what are the focus areas? Can you just lay down what are all the focus areas if someone want to learn?
Sure. As we are all aware, sustainability is a very vast subject. So to start with, globally, we emit 40 billions dollars of 40 billion tons of CO2 per year, and in which 80% of that emission, that CO2 emission, is from building sector, waste management, and usage of on land. So why I'm starting with that is building sector. Professional like us from CRE industry or facility management industry, we are responsible for building management. So here, since 80% of this global GHG emission is contributed from building and waste management and other like land usage, so we are the people who can play a significant role on this. Again, under building, energy is the biggest sector. Again, energy contributes to large extent for this CO2 emission. So to start with, I think we can focus on area where we can significantly contribute towards sustainability. So I think that is the starting point. And again, in a building, more than 40% of energy goes towards HVAC. Likewise, there are breakup for different areas, and it's an opportunity for us to focus and see that how we can in order like scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. There are different scope under the umbrella of sustainability. If I can go maybe a minute to elaborate on those areas, like scope 1 is we are responsible for direct emission of CO2. Example, in any of our buildings or campuses, we run our own gen sets where we are directly responsible for CO2 emittance, what we do. Then likewise, scope 2, indirect emissions, where we get power from grid. So somewhere electricity is being produced, but we are consuming here, but again, we are responsible. That comes under scope 2, that is indirect. And third is, so we are using or we are availing that service, we have no control on that. Example, either transmission and distribution of electricity. It's hundreds of thousands of miles away, electricity is being produced and we consume here. So there is a significant loss, like more than 25% of loss during transmission. So that is indirect, where we don't have any control, but we are still responsible for that. Likewise, travel, like either air travel or road travel, we are using for our business purpose. We are responsible for that. That comes under scope 3. So we can go deep dive on those scopes and plan. That is the starting point in my view.
Thank you. Thank you for elaborately putting that. And another question is, how far companies in India adopting to the sustainability practices?
I think, in my view and with my experience, I think more than 10 years ago, I think organization in India started looking into sustainability, and as the popularity and as the result, started giving what they have never expected. More and more organizations are getting into sustainability. So, as you are aware, if you see any of the organizations' annual report, there is a particular area pertaining to sustainability.
Right.
Organizations proudly announce that this is my sustainability report. This is how I have contributed to environment, and with this example, I'm able to light up, say, thousands of houses in a village with the kind of energy I saved. Or with this waste management effort, I avoided X tons of waste which otherwise was supposed to go for landfilling. Like that,
Right.
most of the organizations are started focusing on this. I think I think that is the way forward. And now it is like top-down approach. So even leadership team is driving that for all the businesses. They need to focus on sustainability, and I think that is one of the KPIs as part of their business deliverables. So
It
that's
has
the
become a
interest.
basic requirement today. Currently, it's become a basic requirement and start working on sustainability. And how is this sustainability is important for businesses? If you just have to deal with how this has got an impact on businesses, I'm sure you worked in different organizations, and can you throw some light on how this is clearly given leeway on business sustainability?
Yeah. See, this is, for any business for that matter, whether it is a manufacturing or it's, IT, ITES, or, other industries like cement or anything, sustainability is playing a key role, because the impact is directly on the productivity, directly on their employee engagement, directly on what customer is looking. With my experience, where I worked in Wipro or SAP or in the current organization Citrix, so one of the key points, customers is looking into sustainability before even they buy a product. That could be, as I said, IT or non-IT or even manufacturing. They will ask, what is the kind of policy, what is the kind of mission you have on sustainability? Even for us, example, we buy a lot of furniture, carpet, and other stuff to our own campus building. Generally, one of the questions I keep asking, even if I buy this table, I'll ask, what is the percentage of sustainable, in the sense with respect to sustainable, what is the percentage of recyclable materials you are using with this?
Correct.
And what is the percentage of recycled product you have used in this product? No, that is, there is a rating for that. So as they use more of such recycled and recyclable materials, then we are interested to do that, because somewhere that maybe the particular product would have produced in India or anywhere else globally, but we are keen into that. So coming back to your question, yes, whether any of the organizations now that is going to help for them to do a better business, increase productivity, and also it helps on the bottom line. Sustainability is not that only what we do to the environment. It gives back, actually. It gives back immensely, that people continue to drive, continue to invest on sustainability, and they can encash the result in many aspects, actually.
That's great. And there is a conception saying that adopting to sustainability generally is going to cost more. Is it a myth or it is reality? People
Absolutely no. So in my experience, for the last 20 years, I've worked on many projects, especially under the umbrella of sustainability, and great learning with my fraternity, great learning from the consultant group and my other colleagues. I've seen all along my journey, whatever the investment we have made on sustainability projects, the ROIs really, really, encouraging. Actually, it is not that, yes, initially there will be an investment, under the sustainability example. You want to say as simple as replacement of conventional lamps with, say, LED. Yes, there is an investment, but if we look at the ROI, so the kind of returns what we get, then an organization or even CFO of any company, is glad to approve the whatever the capex. Okay, that you need to put a lot of money into sustainability, but honestly, in reality, one need not put. Yes, you need to put, but the ROI is always encouraging. Actually, you would. It is like, you will be hungry with what is my next project, and likewise, even organization will be behind us, that okay, what is your next project? Here you go, your approval, because they know that they started seeing the result. And personally, I've experienced in all my organization wherever I work, and start from CFO to managing director, everybody always will be impressive to see the result, and always they are open to support for any of such initiatives.
Yeah, we have to look at what benefits it actually gives, and how is it benefiting. It's more important. I don't know. Take a simple example of the CFL to LED lights today. LED lights, you get at a low voltage and high brightness and all, you get it, and you get the required luminance and kind of a thing. So people have to really look at, leave out saying that it's going to cost more. That is one part of it, and consumption is also increasing currently. So given that, costs are also coming down. Similar to solar, one point in time people used to feel solar is very high, expensive, and today it has become part of life. Even the houses are doing the solar panels and other thing. So
Absolutely.
the one question is, for some of them, they wanted to start the sustainability journey, and they don't know where to start. To that kind of a people, what is that you tell them? Anyway, broadly you covered in some of those questions. I just wanted you to summarize someone who wants to start the sustainability journey. What is that you recommend based on your experience, where they should start? What is that they should start looking at?
Okay. So in my view, any business for that matter, as I said in the beginning, we need to look into our own data. To give a simple example, say I'm part of IT corporate. Okay, so I come under building sector. So how can I contribute? Because I don't do any kind of manufacturing in my office. I don't pollute, with many kind of processes. But mine is purely IT. It's a clean business. But still, do I have any opportunity to? Answer is yes. How? Because I consume a huge amount of electricity to run my office. So to start with, I need to have data on what is my energy consumption. So that is the starting point, because as I said in the beginning of this interview, that energy contribute significantly for the GHG
Right,
emission.
right.
We can play a key role. So once we have data, because what we cannot measure, we can't improve. So first thing is we need to have a measurement in place. So let's assume if we don't have tools and gadgets to measure, we need to put a investment to have such a measurement in place, so that we can have energy data. Again, it will be good if we can have bifurcate between, like, what is the energy which goes for lab infrastructure or IT related stuff, and HVAC, then lighting and other utilities. If we have kind of breakup, then we need to have at least for a couple of quarters data on energy. Then we can do a benchmark. Okay, so if similar industry benchmark, what is the industry standard, where do we stand, and what are the opportunity to do energy reduction. We ourselves can set a target, depends on where do we stand, and there are many products available in the market to reduce the energy consumption. That is the starting point. So for any organization, I'll say three things. One is energy, second is water management, third is waste management. Because without these three, we cannot run any operations, any buildings or anything. So start with energy. First, you measure, and let's have the data. Then we can focus on what is the target we can set and how we can do. Likewise, again, water. Again, we need to measure how are we consuming water, because water is the other scarcity. No, we must ensure that effective water management. Then last but not the least is waste management, because
Yes.
that is the one more global issue now. So how we can avoid unnecessary waste creation in our office, and even if we create, what is the waste and methodology to recycle those waste. That could be paper waste or food waste, you name the waste. There are opportunity today. We can convert waste into energy. So those three things, that is a starting thing. And once we have data, if one need, they can take help from the consultant. Then otherwise they can take a help from the industry experts, and start working on those. And interesting thing I would like to say, that they need to participate in some of the conferences and seminars organized across India by many reputed bodies. So
Correct.
for me, I think for the last about 10 to 12 years, I regularly attend CIA conference, and that is one of the conferences specific to energy management, where we get great learning opportunity. I must say that where more than 200 plus industries across India comes and present to the audience of around 1,000 plus, that what is that they are doing in their respective organizations. So
Right.
where and the interesting thing is 15 to 17 minutes maximum slot for each organization to go and present. And if you sit there for about 2 or 3 days, we will get lot more info and points to capture and come back and implement in our offices. That's how personally I learned a lot, and I implemented many of such measures and initiatives in my corporates, and I've seen the result. So I hope I've given a lengthy answer,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm sure it helps. Start with measurement, then track, then start working on some of the projects, and keep learning. This we need to learn, and it's always uh,
That's
greater learning.
absolutely correct. You hit on the nail saying that yes, network, be part of various meetings, learn CI or some of those conferences. It gives a lot of learning. Yes, I also attended some of those meetings, and it gives good learning to you. And networking and learning is most important, and people start doing it. But also go and learn. Some of you, like your organization, is there something like that? Go and visit them and get to understand what they are doing it. Maybe the current times may not permit you to travel, visit the places. Once it all get relaxed, people should be networking and do that. I think great inputs. I'm sure sustainability is going to be one of the key factors which was shaping up, and the days to come and years to come also, it is going to be one of the key requirements, and people need to look at it. And you have clearly laid down some of the things where they can start, what they can start looking at, which is most important. Rather than not doing anything, start doing something somewhere, and then start moving on. That is very good thing. Thanks, Kumara, for participating in this interview, and I'm sure we will share this in the our Facebook group, and a lot of people are going to get benefited. We wanted to, one of the things is give back to the people, understand, and a lot of knowledge sharing can happen to them. That's a series which we are doing it, and I'm sure this will help. And once again, thanks for your encouragement and participating in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts, and really appreciate your time. Once again, thank you so much.